Welcome to another Out of Spec Renew episode. Today we are back with Freddie in the UK at the Petrol Hedonism Show. So Freddie, thank you for coming and visiting the UK. So I was with you a month ago checking out UP1. No, you came here to visit all the awesome EVs we build in the UK.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am sort of in awe because, we do have EVs in the States, but the people that put the EV conversions are few and far between. Yeah. So to have a lot of these really eclectic cars here and they're all EV converted, I mean, it really is a sight to see.
So I wanted to show you the cheapest way to start into the EV and racing. So buying a crash damaged Model 3 is the cheapest way, and then you build a roll cage in it.
Yeah.
But maybe the most fun way is to convert a classic car, just like this Porsche.
Gotcha.
So let's check it out.
Okay, let's do it. So what year is this Porsche?
This is a late 80s Porsche, fully converted. There's no more gas going in through its veins. It has a battery pack in the front, a battery pack in the back, and you've got a Tesla Model S drivetrain, 500 horsepower.
500 horsepower. So, and you have torque that's instant, right?
Instant. Yeah. You can tune it, so you spend actually more time with your laptop fine-tuning the way you want the car to handle. So you can give it more grip, or more power, more torque, or slide if you want to slide it around.
I mean, this would be a perfect sliding car. So, since the car, you took out the internal combustion engine that sat behind the rear axle, how is the weight distribution?
All right, that's a very good question, because most specialists converting classic cars into EV, they take into consideration the weight balance of the car. That's why there is a battery pack in the front and one in the back also. Otherwise, you would get way too much weight and power in the back. So obviously, if you convert a Porsche, you want more weight in the back. But say there's an electric Mini, the weight distribution is the same as it used to be.
Interesting.
Defender is trying to do the same also. Have the weight in the center, so you can still go off-road, get more power, more torque, make it fun, make it very aggressive off-road, and really good on the road also.
No, that's awesome. So in terms of when you convert these things, how much weight do you add to a car like this?
Typically on the Porsche, for instance, it's like 100 kilos heavier.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. And the Mini, when they designed the system, they wanted the weight to be exactly the same.
Wow.
So the weight is exactly the same. So the Mini drives like a classic Mini, it handles like one.
That's crazy.
You can push it in the corners, but when you go straight, it's bumpy because it's still the same suspension.
It has that weird cone thing.
But the funny thing is because it has a little bit more power, so this is about 100 horsepower in the Mini. There's traction control, so you can actually put the power down. But it's quite fun, still light. And the essence of what the Mini was is still there. You don't want to bring 500 horsepower in a Mini on the back axle. It still needs to be a front-wheel drive classic car. Just like the Defender is still a 4x4, this is still a rear-wheel drive.
It's really interesting because, when people think, you're taking the internal combustion engine out, you're like, oh, you're killing the soul of the car. But you're trying to retain all the feel of the original car. We're just making that, making it more practical, making it more reliable, that sort of thing.
It can be smoother, it can be more aggressive.
Yes.
And most of the time you have different modes. So you will have a city mode, you'll have a regular mode, and then in the ditch mode.
Exactly.
So that's quite interesting. So the whole industry is completely changing because more and more companies are bringing new systems for a lot of base cars. So you have European cars here, but same thing, many companies in America are bringing the same systems. So I'm pretty sure at your show later this year, we may see some more. Before that, at SEMA, we'll see way more converted to electric classic cars and more modern cars also coming.
And I should probably mention that we're having a show in Central Florida. It's called Wrench Fest Live. It's going to be December 4th, 5th, and 6th at Circuit, Florida. And we haven't really announced anything yet. We're going to start doing that in the next month. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we'll have some cool EVs like this.
I'm sure we can arrange something.
Oh, that's going to be great.
All right. Do you know what this is?
Yes. So this is the motor and battery assembly for, I'm guessing, a Mini, because it says official Mini conversion system. I can read, dude.
All right, so this is a complete drivetrain that goes in a Mini like this one.
That's wild.
So the concept about doing system for the industry is you unbolt the old engine and subframe, and you just bolt on the new system, and it plugs in. You've got 2/3 of the battery pack here, another third here, and the tiny motor and the gear, and off you go. You just install it. So it takes 1 to 2 days to convert a classic Mini.
How big is that battery?
The whole thing is 19 kilowatt hour, so it's really small and compact. That's how you keep the weight. For instance, on a Mini, you could get twice as much. There's plenty of room in the Mini, but to keep it light and feel like it's still the same Mini, you want the weight to be as little as possible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love the form factor. I mean, you have the stock uprights here, and how you've integrated it is fantastic. I mean, it looks really, really cool. So if I were just to take this display and take it home with me, would you have a problem with that?
Well, I'm sure we can arrange something, but the thing is, those guys, they send those systems throughout the world, so they've been doing Minis with the brand Mini in Australia, for instance.
Really?
Yeah. America, they're all over the place in America because they're so easy, and they come on a pallet and they just ship it out, and everything is included. You've got the dials, you got the lever, everything. So it makes it easy for trade professional. You don't have to be like an EV specialist to convert a classic car. You can just do a training that takes a couple of days just to understand the high voltage and the risk that goes with it. And then again, it's bolt on. This comes with a brand new subframe, so it's just bolt on. So that's a fantastic way to bring EV conversion to the general public, and any mechanic can convert a classic
So
car.
this is going to be the least rusty part of the car.
Obviously,
you're going to start with this and it's just going to fall apart.
You want to start with a good Mini or a good classic car, because when you're going to spend that type of money, we're talking about maybe $20,000 to $25,000 to convert the car. You want a very good sound car to start with. But then you get a car you can use every day. We are in London, and I've driven a Mini in London. It's just fantastic. It's so light, so small, and you can even have assisted power steering, so it makes it very easy to drive in the city.
So it has power steering?
Not by default, but as an option you can add it.
Really?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be using the manual gear stick or anything like that. So you take that out?
You have a lever that just goes forward and reverse and neutral.
But would you use the same manual
No,
stick?
it's a different one.
It's a different one. Okay.
Yeah. And the charge port is where the gas filler was.
I am a big fan of, like, when you modify a car, not to make it feel modified. So, like, there's a lot of cars, like, I'm not, painting anybody in a bad light, but, like, when you see a car that looks like a collection of parts, you know that, when it's like, oh yeah, we got wheels from this guy, and we got paint for this guy, and just feels like it wasn't a cohesive vision. But when it's like this, it's like, it's a classic Mini, but we've modified all this stuff. But you can't, like, from looking at it, you can't tell. You absolutely can't tell.
Outside of the tailpipe, you cannot tell.
And I mean, that's it. You can just put a little tailpipe there, and then
with sound.
Yeah, exactly. You just put sound through it.
I mean, the sound of a Mini is not particularly exciting.
Yeah.
And the original motor was not fantastic to start with. This brings reliability, power, and torque, and fun. So happy days. I know some other cars people won't like if they were to be converted, say Lamborghinis and some Ferraris. But some classic cars you can drive every day. You can keep your classic car and drive it and have fun. So
exactly. I mean, if you have like an old Alfa or something like that, like those were never reliable. It's always, the joke is, you're always going to be on the side of the road covered in oil and whatever. And the day, people think of, like, you get this classic car and I'm going to take it out on the weekend. I'm going to have this wonderful day. I'll go to the beach and I'll do this. And the reality is that never happens. That day does not exist. But now you can put one of these in there and it's no problem. You never have to worry about it. It's not going to leak onto your floor. That's really, really cool. You should honestly, like, let's do something with this. I wouldn't mind getting a Mini and putting one of these in there.
And in Florida, maybe the Mini wouldn't be so rusty as it is here in the UK. So that would be a good opportunity.
That's awesome, man. Well,
I want to talk to you about the catch ram because a common friend is driving this.
Okay.
Ben Collins, the Stig.
It's so wild to say that he's like a common friend. Oh yeah, I know the old Stig. It's fine. No problem.
Well, he's going to be driving your P1 when it's ready. So, but this will be converted.
Let's go take a look at it. So
this not only this will be converted to electric, but Ben, who is very, he really knows his Caterham.
Yes.
And when he was the stick for Top Gear, he told us the fastest lap he did was in a Caterham.
Yes.
So the plan is to help design the system for Felton.
I mean, it's a tall order because, number one, there's not much space in here, and that's not usually a problem for the electric motor because you can stick, electric motors are compact, but the batteries, where do you put them? So I'm thinking the batteries will probably be, in here somewhere.
They will be in the front, and there will be a smaller pack in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you get, if you have a motor up front and then you have the drive in the back, usually there's a transmission, you have a drive shaft, a differential, and all that leads to drivetrain loss. And if you have an electric motor back there, there's less drivetrain loss, it's less to actually go wrong, and you have direct drive, you have torque from zero. So this should be like a handful and a half,
So I'm sure it's going to burn quite a lot of rubber.
Oh, yeah.
Again, help fine-tune it with the laptops and the guys taking care of the different tunes you can get.
You're going to need to get some wider wheels.
Probably.
Yeah, because those wheels are like, they're like bicycle tires.
Yeah.
You're going to
That's
roast
what
those.
makes it light also.
Yes.
But it will have more torque, it will have more power, so it definitely needs a few upgrades. But again, the plan with all those classic cars is to keep them the same weight, the same feel. So we don't want to bring a much bigger rear axle, for instance. It needs to feel the same.
Right.
Otherwise, you're just designing a new electric car with the body of a classic car.
Yeah, well, these are wonderful projects, and I hope to see this, EV and burning rubber. I can't wait to see these things, man.
All right, and maybe we take you on a tour, and maybe you can test drive on the road. That'd be fantastic.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because I know how these things drive stock, and they're okay.
Yeah.
They're not fast, but if you take out that, what is it, 2.7 liter that went in here?
Yeah.
If you take out the 2.7 liter, 6-cylinder boxer engine, and you put in a modern EV, I want to know how this thing handles for sure.
And the fun thing, I know people are going to say, yeah, you're doing a sacrilege. You're taking the soul out of the car.
Yeah.
But this car, before it was converted, already drove 230,000 miles.
Yeah.
So it had 2.5 life already.
Yeah.
And now it's been driven another 30,000 miles as an electric car, as a daily drive. And it's a development car. So when those guys are finished fully developing the system, it will be a fantastic way to convert your classic Porsche if you want to daily drive it. And make it an even more fun car.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, this is amazing.
This is very
really,
good. This
really
is
cool.
a very fun time in the car industry,
Yeah.
not just in the EV industry, in cars in general.
Yes.
So I look forward to seeing you in one of the electric cars,
Yes.
and I'll see you at your show in Florida.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Freddie.
man.
All
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah.